Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is Dorit Kemsley defending herself, talking about her feud with Kyle, why she feels stronger and more empowered this season, and really getting into the nitty gritty of what's going on. But is this too little, too late? I kind of think I don't know why, but I think that I know the fans now are on Dorit's side because the majority of the fans just don't like Kyle. So the fact that she's going against Kyle, they're automatically Team Dorit. But I wonder if by the end of the season we will feel the same way. But let's dive into what Dorit had to say during her interview with Deadline. It's going to be a much condensed version because it's going to be based on what Reality Blurb said. But then I'll dive into my thoughts and everything. But before we do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It is a fun and easy way to support the show, and I would really appreciate it. So with that, let's go. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says, there is much excitement over the return of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Much of this has to do with it being one of the highest rated shows on the network. Now, Dorit Kemsley is opening up about what viewers can expect with her being more activated as her issues with Kyle Richards heat up. Side note, as we know, Garcelle Bouvet had told Jeff Lewis, that, Dorit she's on fire this season, but she meant like a dumpster fire, not like hot on fire, and that she's definitely activated. Jeff Richards then said that she was a super bitch this season. Garcelle co-signed, yes, she is. They both sort of came to the same conclusion, which myself came to as well, along with a lot of other viewers, is that, yeah, Dorit is on fire and activated because she doesn't want to lose her position on the show. She wants to keep her diamond. She wants to keep the Bravo check. She wants to keep her 15 minutes of fame coming in. And I think she knew that she was on the chopping block. I think that if they had not fired Rinna and then fired Diana Jenkins and then fired Crystal, like I think that, and then Anna Marie, I think Dorit has sort of been able to coast, sort of like she's dodging getting fired because other people are getting fired ahead of her, and she's sort of been very neutral. She's been Kyle's yes person, she's been Erica's sidekick. So she's been very neutral and able to hold that position. But since all the other fluff has been fired, now she's up next. And I think she knows she needs to shut up and put up. Okay. So as many fans know, there were rumors that Dorit was either going to be let go from the show or demoted if she didn't bring the heat this time around. Based on the trailer and earlier episodes, it seems season 7 Dorit is back and ready to tackle Kyle and the issues in her marriage to PK Kemsley. Recently, Dorit sat down for an interview with Deadline to discuss all things Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They first talked about how excited viewers were to see Dorit holding her own this season. According to Dorit, I love the positivity. I think it's cute and it's funny that it gets translated as season 7. Listen, this season I had a lot of things to say and a lot going on, and I was coming into my power for a multitude of reasons. I think it's just one reason you didn't want to get fired. She continued, the last few years I had been really affected by the home invasion and things that were going on in my marriage and in my personal life and how it was affecting my overall health. So I ended up doing something about it and getting better and stronger and healthier, primarily through a business venture that I got into, which helped treat a lot of my overall physical and emotional health. Now, what I think she's talking about is going into, like, I think it's called either pre-menopause or perimenopause, something like that. And I think that she is partnering with a perimenopause company, whether it's like a health company or a supplement company, and she's going to be a face of it or a brand ambassador or influencer for that. So that's why she's talking about like, oh, my health and, working with people to help my health, because it's basically like a sponsored campaign for her, which is fine. No tea, no shade, everybody's doing it, sponsored campaigns. I do it myself on my social media channels. So I'm definitely not throwing any shade at her. But I think she also needs to be honest that she is being a paid spokesperson for this supplement or medicine or, homeopathic, whatever the hell it is. Just be transparent that you're basically being a brand ambassador for them. I think that'll come up in the season. Okay. She then discussed opening up to the ladies about her marital issues. As you can see, that pertains to me sharing with the ladies what's going on with PK and also my relationship with Kyle, because as you can see in the first episode, that does carry throughout this season, and you see the journey of us really sharing our, well, we're not in a great place when we started this season, and we hadn't seen each other since the reunion, she said. Dorit added, what the audience is seeing is us seeing each other for the very first time, and there was a lot that needed to be said. They then discussed the issues with Kyle and the text messages from last season. However, she confirmed that their problems began long before that. According to Dorit, our relationship took a tumble way before that text message. That was the reason why I had read the text message to Erica Jane. It was to get her opinion about whether or not she would have felt exactly how I was feeling. But it's very important to know that the issues in our friendship were a year or two on, and there was a series of events in that time over a sustained period of time that led to me feeling like, okay, I'm done, enough is enough, she added. Dorit added that sharing the text messages was her way of confiding in a friend that I was feeling like one of my best friends was not even treating me as if we were friends any longer. Ding dong, Dorit. I mean, you just proved Kyle's point. Now, I'm not saying I'm team Kyle. I'm not saying any of that because as we know, Kyle has always had the problem of stirring the pot, but not putting any of her business in the pot. Playing coy about what's happening in her life, doing LVP dirty, doing Yolanda dirty, doing her sister dirty. I know, I get it. Vile Kyle, goodbye Kyle. I get it. However, in this situation, specifically, Dorit just confirmed why Kyle was like, I'm not the one that's being manipulative. You're the one that betrayed me. Number one, you're saying that you and Kyle were beefing and had issues in your friendships for a year or two before this text message happened, which is exactly what Kyle said in the text message. She said, hey, everybody doesn't know, i.e. production, i.e. the audience, that we have had issues. I'm just making sure you're not going to bring that up tomorrow at the reunion because I'm not planning on it. We both have the stuff going on, so I don't want to bring that up because nobody knows. That means Dorit was in on keeping it quiet. That means Dorit was in on not bringing it to the show that her and Kyle were beefing for however long they want to say, let's just like a year or whatever, right? Prior to the reunion, prior to the text messages. Dorit had all of the ability to bring her issues with Kyle to the show if she wanted to, but she didn't. She kept up the facade. She kept acting like, my friend Kyle, I want to be close to Kyle. Kyle. You kept fronting like you loved Kyle, you cared about Kyle, what's going on with Kyle. And the truth was, y'all had been beefing and y'all had been not in a good place. So Kyle was just saying like, hey, you still faking the funk? Because I'm still faking the funk, just want to make sure. For Dorit to then bring that text message to the reunion and act like, oh, I can't believe you're trying to silence me and manipulate me is ridiculous. No, Dorit, you had nothing to bring to the show. You don't have personality. You barely have style, in my opinion. Just because you wear labels does not make you fashionable. And you're boring. Nobody cares about this fake alleged home invasion. Nobody cares about this fake alleged PTSD. Nobody cares. People barely care about this fake separation from PK. I'm personally on PK's side. You knew you had to bring something to the reunion because Garcelle was coming for your neck she was going to stay on your neck, and you knew that was a battle you were not going to win. So you needed to bring something, so you threw Kyle under the bus. If you wanted to confide in Erica about what she thought about the text message, you could have done it off camera. Since you and Erica and Lisa Rinna kiki and hang out off camera all the time, why didn't you do it off camera? No, you waited till you got to the reunion. You waited till you were in your trailer doing your hair and makeup. You waited till you were on camera to show Erica. So the person who's actually being manipulative and lying is you, Dorit, not Kyle. I get it. So many people are vile Kyle, all this stuff. I mean, hell might be freezing over because I am warming up to Kyle. I'm warming up to Kyle. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm saying it. I am warming up to her. I am. So I get it. People are going to be pissed. They're going to be Team Dorit because they're so tired of Kyle. But I also want people to think objectively and to be able to compartmentalize things. Yes, you can have an issue with how Kyle has been, but you also need to be fair and objective in the current situation of what's really going on between Kyle and Dorit. Do you know what I mean? And in my opinion, and it's okay if you disagree, that's totally fine. And in my opinion, I see Dorit as being the one who is more manipulative within their friendship and now on this sort of campaign. I think Dorit would get a very different read if she was being this activated against anybody else on the cast. But because it's Vile Kyle, people are cool with it. But you just proved Kyle's point. You betrayed her and you threw her under the bus because you needed relevancy for the reunion and you didn't want to get fired. Not because you actually thought she was trying to silence you, because you just admitted you were in on not being honest on camera so you could still keep your position on the show. You just said it was a year or two coming. So over that year or two, you filmed an entire season and you didn't once talk about any of this stuff. Girl, bye. Okay. She also said she would do it again as she didn't share Kyle's personal information. However, she then backtracked and said she would simply handle the situation with Kyle. Girl. The interviewer asked Dorit if she's more activated this season because she may have been on the chopping block due to a potential cash shakeup. She responded, "Honey, if I spent or invested time in the rumors, then I'd be living in a very different life. No, there was a moment in time when I was choosing not to do the show, and I decided to walk because there was a lot going on in my life, and I was questioning whether or not I should do the show." Stop lying. Dorit, nobody's believing this. Nobody is believing that. If you wanted to walk, walk. Girl, bye. Nobody was trying to keep you on the show. Stop lying. She added, "I certainly didn't go into this season putting it on, if you will, to keep my job. I don't think that would ever be the case for me. I think when I know that it's over, but that would be a choice that I make in for a good reason." Stop lying. Her marital issues also came up, and she was asked if she was aware that PK was going to have a conversation with Mauricio Umansky on camera about them. Dorit explained, "Mo and PK are good friends. They spend a lot of time together. They're very close. So it's not unusual that they would be meeting for lunch or dinner. I think they met every week when they're both in town." She continued, "As far as why that was filmed, because you never want things to be unbalanced. If I'm talking about my separation, my issues with my husband, with other housewife, PK being able to have a voice and share how he feels with someone other than me makes sense." Okay, at least she's being normal with that. They also discussed her issues with Sutton Strack. Well, you definitely have to watch the season to see how that comes about. But yes, Sutton, she likes to get in there. Sutton likes to be front and center and she likes to poke and prod. I certainly wasn't up for it, so we rub heads for sure, but you'll have to watch and see, she said. In the end, Dorit teased, "Interesting things have happened between Garcelle and I," and she said that fans would have to watch to see how it all plays out. Well, according to how Garcelle is still slamming Dorit in the news, I guess it doesn't play out well. I'm Team Garcelle with that. Dorit is very, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but she is a Karen. She says very ridiculous things that are aggressive, that are microaggressors and aggressors when it comes to race, when it comes to status. I think that Dorit herself is a social climber, and I think a lot of people who are like that, they think that in order to make themselves look above it all, they have to put somebody beneath them. And Garcelle isn't having it. Sutton's her BFF. So I'm here for it. Team Sutton, Team Garcelle. And I am Team Kyle. So I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Do you think Dorit is just trying to save face because everybody is calling her out, being like, look, we're here for it. We're here for you, being activated, being on fire, finally being honest about who you truly are. But don't play in our faces like you're not doing it because you want to save your job, because you want to keep your diamond and you want to keep your check and you want to keep your 15 minutes of fame. Look, just be honest about it, because I would respect that. And I understand that. Look, if I chose to be a reality star on a reality TV show and I was up to being fired and the producers came to me and were like, "Candy, you need to step it up," then next season I'm going to step it up. I'm going to be on fire. I'm going to be activated because that's what I want to do. I want to keep that position. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Dorit doing it. I just think it's laughable that she's lying about it, in my opinion. I get it. You want to keep your check. You want to stay on the show. That makes sense. But just be like, yeah, I came to play. I came to prove why I deserve my diamond. I came to keep my position at the table. Just stand 10 toes down. But I want to know what you guys think. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to you guys next time. And are you watching season 14? Are you enjoying it? And who are your faves? So with that, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.